The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon and welcome to the ACM SIGUCCS webinar today. My name is Lori Fox. I'm the current chair of the executive committee of SIGUCCS, and it's my honor to be here to welcome you to our webinar. I have a little bit of housekeeping. Everyone is muted. This session is being recorded. We're going to put it up on our YouTube channel for future viewing. You can ask questions in the questions area and one of us will answer them. And if you would like to be unmuted and use your microphone when it comes to the question time, we can work that out too. So for now, if everyone would either raise your hand or say hello in the question panel, that will just reassure me that everyone can hear my voice. Thank you, Andrew. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Brian. Okay, I'm going to put everybody's hand down. The annual conference, which I know you're aware of, is coming up in 23 days. Very excited to be in New Orleans this year, and you're going to hear a lot more about it during the webinar. It's not too late to join our book club. Our October book is called Crucial Conversations. It's by Carrie Patterson. It is a fantastic book. I've been listening to it on audiobook. I only have about 2 hours left, which is the perfect length for my flight to Chicago this weekend. And we're going to talk about it in our Slack channel at the end of the month. But then we have a time during the sessions at the conference where we're going to talk about the book together in person. And I encourage you, even if you read just a little bit of the book or want to hear more about the book, to stop by and join in on the conversation. This is our 10th book of 2019. We've been reading together all year, one book a month, a little ambitious. For all of us. I don't know of anyone that has read all 10 books, but we really have enjoyed reading professional development books together. I hope you all joined SIGUCCS when you registered for the conference to get that sweet conference discount. You also can get pre-conference seminar discounts. All of our seminars still have space in them. And they are all going to run. So if you are interested in a pre-conference seminar and didn't sign up before, you still can sign up. Your membership also gets you access to the ACM Digital Library and the SIGUCCS Mentoring Program. You can connect with your colleagues in SIGUCCS, whether or not you come to the conference. We have a Twitter account, we have a Facebook community that's pretty active, and of course an email listserv, and we also use Slack. We have a book club channel, that's where we talk about the books. We also have a conference channel. I picture that channel picking up quite a bit. We have a productivity channel, weekly challenge, just a lot of different things going on in Slack. So that's the end of my slideshow. I'm going to turn it over to Jenny Nelson. Jenny, here come the controls. And there you go. And Jenny, I'm going to mute myself so you don't hear my breathing, and I'll turn it over to you and your team.
Great. Thank you so much, Lori. Great. Thank you so much, Lori. As Lori mentioned, my name is Jenny Nelson, and I'm also here today with Lisa Brown. She'll be going through this slideshow with me. Lisa, are you on mute still?
Nope, I'm good.
Perfect.
So I'm Lisa Brown. I am a member of the SIGUCCS board, which I'll talk a little bit about more in the next slide. But I'm also a staff member at the University of Rochester, where I've been for 23 years, and I've been coming and going to SIGUCCS conferences since 1997. So I've been doing this a long time, which is why I'm paired up with Jenny. Jenny, why don't you introduce yourselves and talk about your SIGUCCS experience?
Sure. So I'm currently the help desk manager for the College of Architecture here at Texas A&M. My first SIGUCCS was actually last year, and I was completely immersed into it. The people were great. They made me feel so welcome, and I learned so much, which made me want to be a part of the conference this year. And that's one of the reasons why I'm part of the Newcomers committee, just to make sure that everyone can have the same positive experience that I had.
Great, thanks, Jenny. So, as you're all aware, this is the SIGUCCS Newcomers Orientation, and we are going to be in New Orleans in just 20-some days. And so we're here to get you ready to be part of Carnival. So I want to start out with what is SIGUCCS. Lori had it on her slides, but I kind of want to go into what it is. So the SIG part of SIGUCCS stands for Special Interest Group, and the UCCS part stands for University and College Computing Services. And so SIGUCCS is the special interest group for University and College Computing Services. It is part of a larger organization called ACM, the Association for Computing Machinery, which consists of a number of special interest groups related to a lot of different computing industry formats, some of which are part of higher ed and some of which are part of professional and industry and commercial, or span both higher ed and commercial. But we are truly a professional organization geared towards higher education, because we are specifically for university and college computing services. And SIGUCCS has been around for 56 years now. It was founded 56 years ago as one of these special interest groups. Go ahead. So in addition to being founded 56 years ago, it has been having conferences for this is the 47th year of annual conferences. And it's been around all of this time as a focus on professional development and networking opportunities for the IT professional working in higher ed. We are a special group. We are very different from IT professionals working in corporate because of the communities we serve and the way we represent. And unlike most corporate entities, we share, right? Corporate entities don't share how they do things, but in higher ed, we do. We all want to get better at our jobs. And so this conference is a way to network with other professionals in your career space and learn what other schools are doing with whatever component of IT you support. So the conference is made up of a bunch of what we call tracks. So these are the different session types, or the different topic types that we're supporting at the conference this year. And you don't have to pick just one of these to concentrate on, but you might pick a number of sessions in whichever one of these tracks speaks to you the most in your role at your university. However, that doesn't preclude you from going to something in another track. So we don't force you to stay in a track. We don't ask you to choose a track. These are just the topics that we have selected this year that we wanted to focus on. And we try to make sure that there are enough talks in each of these tracks to entice people to come to the conference. So you might be somebody working at a help desk who goes to a number of customer service and IT service management sessions, but maybe you also have to worry about training and engagement. So you go to a couple sessions in there. And maybe you're also a manager or an aspiring manager, so you find something in the leadership and career development track that you want to attend. So we're hoping that there's enough different topics here and that you don't burn out on one and that you spread your time around what interests you. So in addition to those topics, there are different types of sessions. So you will see some sessions that are labeled as presentations. These are ones where people are giving a talk, and they'll pretty much talk to you about their topic for the entire hour, the 45 minutes with time for questions after. Some sessions might be billed as facilitated discussion. What that means is the person is there to facilitate a discussion amongst all the attendees, and it's more of a workshop or roundtable conversation amongst the people attending the session. You might also find some of the sessions where there are multiple presenters from different schools. So that would be an example of a panel presentation where instead of getting the perspective of one school, you would get the perspective of 2 or 3 or 4 schools. We also have some designated time slots for lightning talks. And in that case, there are multiple topics in the same 1-hour session because people are only given 7 minutes to present their topic. So you get to hear a snippet of something, but you get to hear snippets of lots of different things in that same hour. And that's a format that we picked up a few years ago, and it's been very popular because people challenge themselves to give a 7-minute talk. The last session type on here is a poster session, and so we have a whole time slot dedicated to our poster session, and that is where you enter a room and people are set up at different tables, and they might have a actual poster where everything is on a presented piece of paper, large piece of paper, or they might have their computer with them and they're doing a slideshow, and you walk around and talk to people about the most topics you're most interested in. We also have tables there for many of our SIGUCCS activities, so there will be something for next year's conference where you can talk to people about where that's going to be, how you can help. You'll have a table about the mentoring program, which Lori mentioned earlier. There will also be tables where our award winners will be presenting from our communication awards. So the poster session, in addition to being a dessert fest, typically, is a place to go to both network with people and to talk to the vendors again, and to meet a lot of different people giving multiple mini presentations throughout that time period. So we encourage you to not skip that session, to make sure you go, because it's really a great opportunity to learn a lot in a very short amount of time. So if you haven't already seen the schedule for the conference is online on our website. However, it is also in an app called SCED. You can download that app and create an account right now, and you can start to pick and choose the sessions that you think you want to attend. And you can build your whole schedule, and you can do that in the app. You can also do that online on a computer and create your account there if you'd like to. But I encourage you to get ahead of that. Don't wait until you get to the conference to download the app or to look at the sessions. Start looking now. And a great tip is mark more than one. Don't just pick one in a time slot, because what I tend to, the first time I ever went to a conference, I picked a track and I marked everything in that track. And after a while, I got bored with the same topics. And then all of a sudden, right before the next session, I'm spending a lot of time trying to figure out what do I want to go to instead. I tend to mark a couple and then decide how I'm feeling about that topic at the time. And so there's nothing that says you can't mark 2 or 3 in one time slot and decide, at the spur of the moment. The SCED is also where you'll go during the conference to see what rooms your sessions are in. And you can read more about the presenters. You can read a full description of the presentation as well. And additionally, SCED is where we do session evaluations. So we highly encourage you, for every session you attend, to provide an evaluation afterwards. Presenters love your feedback. They don't do this just because they want to. They want to hear what they could get better at, what you learned from them, and how they can improve their presentation. And so be sure to go into SCED after each presentation and give it a quick evaluation.
Thanks, Lisa. So as Lori mentioned in the beginning of this webinar, stay connected. It doesn't matter if you're going to be attending. It doesn't matter that the conference hasn't actually started yet. Go ahead and get connected and start talking to us, start talking to other members in this community about SIGUCCS and about what you do. Personally, my favorite part to stay connected with SIGUCCS is the Slack channel. I use Slack for my position as help desk manager, and so it's really easy for me to just change into the SIGUCCS Slack. That way I can talk to Lori and Lisa and everyone else about SIGUCCS or even about something completely different. I know my favorite SIGUCCS channel is the productivity one, especially because I sometimes procrastinate. So learning about tips and tricks to really stay organized is something that I've been really enjoying. As you can see here, we have the Twitter, Facebook, the listserv, and we even have a LinkedIn page that you can follow. And make sure to always use the hashtag SIGUCCS when tweeting and mentioning everything, just because we want the whole community to be able to see what you're talking about and what you're thinking. Besides the online versions of getting to know everyone, we're also having tons of opportunities for you to meet people during the conference. Throughout the week, we will have morning walks where you can walk around New Orleans and really get to know people while getting some fresh air. And Sunday, we will have a welcome reception, which I'll talk about in the next slide, as well as hospitality suites at every day of the meeting of the conference. So this is a perfect time for you to get to know people, especially during the breaks during the sessions. And like Lisa was saying, the poster session, I know during my first conference, I actually was presenting during the poster session, and it was a really great opportunity for me to meet other individuals, especially people who are in different tracks, and I might not have met them otherwise. And it's a really good chance for you to just kind of talk to people, and you might be surprised, you might have more in common with them than you think. Like I mentioned for the welcome reception, this will be the chance for you to kind of bring in your school spirit. We have a exchange where this year we're doing drinking vessels, so coffee mugs and water bottles. This is a chance for you to bring in a little piece of your school, a little piece of where you come from, and get to talk to people and exchange with them, get to learn about each other's schools, and then that can lead to learning about each other's environments and about what y'all do. Throughout the conference, just remember that if you have any kind of dietary needs, that you can express it during your registration or at the registration area when you first attend. Besides the sketch, there will be social events happening all around you. I know that when I went one time when we had dinner on our own, I was invited with a whole bunch of people that I never met before, and we all went to dinner, and by the end of it, we just became the closest of friends. And we also recommend for you to dress casual. I know that New Orleans, even if it's going to be during the winter months, it's not going to be that cold. So make sure that you dress light so that you'll be comfortable. But we always recommend for you to bring a sweater, a jacket for inside in case the conference rooms are cold. You always have an opportunity to volunteer for SIGUCCS. So for me, I'm volunteering as the newcomer committee member. We have session chairs, the registration desk. That I know is a really great opportunity for you to get a feel of everyone, get to meet people, and a really great way for you to welcome individuals with a smiling face. And then, of course, attend this year's conference. If you fall in love with it just as I did, you have the opportunity to help out and volunteer for next year's conference. Finally, for around New Orleans, we recommend that for transportation, you use a mix of taxi or Uber, but we also know that walking distance isn't that far. For the French Quarter, it's only about 7.7 miles. I would not want to walk if it was 7 miles, that's for sure. But it's actually 0.7 miles walking distance to the French Quarter. That's 0.5 miles to the Paddle Wheeler Creole Queen, which I looked at it and it's really interesting ferry. It's huge and it has really great places to eat, and it's just a really interesting place that maybe if you have free time you can go and tour. And with the New Orleans weather, it's going to be a little mix of hot and cold, but it's definitely going to be humid. So we recommend dressing for that when you're going outside. Just make sure that you have a little mix of warm and cool clothes. And lastly, I just want to say attend the newcomer session. During the conference, this is a great opportunity for you to meet everyone, meet individuals who are also attending for the first time. We'll go more into depth of the types of tracks and the types of sessions. That way you can start really getting that feel of what you want to attend in case you don't look at the schedule before then. And we just say, get ready to be a part of Carnival. Does anyone have any questions? If not, Lori, I'll give it back to you.
Okay, well, I'm very excited about some of the information you shared. I just looked up the Paddle Wheeler Creole Queen, and they are still doing dinner cruises that time of year.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It's really cool.
Yeah, so I might have to check into that. Elizabeth has her hand up. Elizabeth, did you want to be unmuted, or is that just left up from before? Oh, she put it back down.
Overall, I really just recommend everyone to put yourself out there, really get to know people. I am sometimes a very shy person and I'm not sure what to say to everyone, but when I went to that conference, I really got to realize just how relatable everyone is, especially when it comes to things like professors, students, very specialized things that not everyone has experience with. So I just recommend really just talking to people because you'll be very surprised at just how relatable everyone can be.
Judy reports that she can't see anything in the SCHED app, and I'll have to admit I have not downloaded it yet.
We can definitely look into that and see why it's not posted yet, and then we'll let everyone know once that's been resolved.
Oh, and Kenneth
Is it
said he
possible
can't
that-
see it either.
Okay, is it possible they haven't actually put it up yet? That we're a little early?
We might be a little early. I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, we'll look into it.
Okay. Well, definitely there will be an announcement when it's available.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Okay, well, thank you for sharing your expertise.
You're very welcome. And if anyone has any other questions, just let us know. You can ask me on the SIGUCCS Slack.
Yeah, it's a good place to find all of us, I think. Okay, well, I'm going to turn off our webinar now then, and everybody have a good afternoon.
Great. Thank you.